response.
Hello, and welcome to the day.
Thank you for spending your time with us.
I'm Jake.
I'm Joel. Welcome back to another episode of Jake and Joel Are Magic. Nice. This week, we are talking the Mythics in Dominaria. Which ones are good? Which ones are bad? Which ones will retain their value? Which ones won't?
I have opinions.
I have opinions too. Let's get to them. You spooked me a little bit.
I know, I wanted to be loud.
Welcome back in, everybody. Thank you for joining us.
I hope your day has treated you amazingly, and now your day is even better now that you're here.
We always appreciate you choosing to watch one of our humble little videos. If you do like it by the end, think about subscribing, think about hitting that like button. Let us know below what you don't like or what you want to see more of. We're always trying to craft it better for you. This is like Ghost.
I see it as like a large Rubik's Cube.
Yeah, we're crafting things better for you.
It's almost like it would be like just like this pops up when you're doing any kind of crafting in whatever MMO you're playing.
Oh yes, like I need to make a wheelbarrow. Plink.
And it's done.
In your inventory. And you're like, how does that fit in a backpack?
They never talk about the little shrink ray.
Nope. It does exist though.
It must.
This week, we are covering the 15 Mythics in Dominaria. We're going to cover 3 things with each Mythic. What their market value is, their pre-order market value at time of shooting.
Sure.
What format, constructed format, we think they may play in, if any. And if we think the price is going to go up or down.
Sweet. Without any more delays, without... setting up a picnic, without going out for, a night on the town. No more delays. We're going to get right to it. There's no reason for us to stall anymore.
Yeah, like you don't want to be like, let's go get water. We're ready.
Yeah, we don't need to do a break. No one needs to use a restroom. No. We're not going to stop.
Yeah.
Not for nobody.
No stalling.
So we're just going to get right into it.
Yeah.
And there's no reason not to. We don't need to go to the beach. We don't need to...
we might as well.
I already ate...
Did you eat dinner? I didn't eat dinner, but I'll put it off later so that we don't have to stall.
I mean, no, I didn't eat. I ate a late lunch, but I'm going to eat dinner after.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of thing.
What time was a late lunch?
It was around, 3:30.
Jake, that's not late lunch. That's early dinner.
There's no reason for us to stall, Joel.
Mythics in Dominaria! Mythics in Dominaria! Here we go! We are going to take these in alphabetical order because we're not ranking them. We're just going to kind of go through them one by one and tell you our thoughts. Daragaz Reincarnated is up first.
This is a card that I think is really cool for a cube format.
Yeah, it's of course interesting and limited. That kind of goes without saying for the entire list. These Mythics are going to be great in limited, of course. This one, I'm thinking if it's, Commander Standard Modern... Brawl. I think that this one has the best chance of playing in Commander.
Yeah, or Brawl.
Yeah.
It might make it into a Brawl deck that's like a Jund deck.
Right now, the market price on it is $4.75.
Yeah.
Do you think it's going to go up or down?
It's going down, dude.
You think it's going to go down
it's
from
going
$4.75?
down. I think, yeah. A lot of Mythics end up settling out once the set comes out. And, these are just inflated pre-sale prices. A lot of the time, sometimes they're sleepers. We're going to get into that, but I think this card is just kind of going to hang tight for a little while. Right. I don't think it's going to find a home. It's ultimately going to go down, and the foil might retain a $5 to $10 price point, depending. It's
interesting. It's got some nostalgia value, but overall, I'm pretty meh.
Yep. Meh.
Next up in alphabetical order is Demon Lord Belzenlock. I guess the big bad guy of the story.
Yeah.
He's right now at $4.20, $4.20 noise.
Yeah, $4.20. Go take a break.
I think he's much more interesting to me than Daragaz. He's, I think, going to see Commander play. I would jam him into my Mono Black Commander deck to see how that would operate. I think it definitely has
Commander play.
It's got some maybe standard play. Its ability requires the converted to be 4 or plus, which is great, but you're not going to get a ton of value when he comes in to the battlefield.
Yeah, when I think about this card, it just reminds me of these big fat demons that have come out these past few sets. That Herald of Anguish, you know, like whatever the demon was that was in Hour of Devastation. They just never really find a deck. And
Razaketh.
Yeah. And they just kind of hang out. Although their abilities are very good, it's just like it's hard to jam.
Bells and Locks got a mana cost that's way more playable than the last one, the R guy.
For sure. But it's just, again, it's like in a deck like Black, it's like unless it has green or some way to ramp up to it, it's just hard to have a big beefy card that isn't like, you know, like a Nicol Bolas that's just going to end the game once you play it.
So starting at a $4.20 market value, where do you think that's going?
I think, you know, the border of the card isn't enough to save it. You know, I think the card will probably settle it like, you know, $1.50 or $2. And this is like a couple months after the set comes out. So I don't really see you like buying a play set of these or anything like that.
No. Next up is one that's way spicier and one we're way more excited about. History of Benalia.
Yes.
Right now it is at $8.50 market value. I think this card is going to definitely see standard play and possibly see modern play.
What I like about it is it's a nice, cheap 3-cost spell. You're getting so much value from it. Right. You're getting a 2/2 with Vigilance twice in a row.
Right.
So you're already up on power level. You're getting 4 power on a 3-cost card.
Right.
And then you get the +2/+1 to soldiers.
White mini overrun.
Something to think about, these enchantment sagas. It's going to be really interesting to see how they play with Solemnity, which is a card that, you know, it came out. Counters can't be placed on, you know, creatures, enchantments, you know, and it's just, I feel like if you have this card stuck on, you know, just like, oh yeah, by the way, make a 2/2 with Vigilance every turn, and you have like 2 of them out there.
Or get it stuck on Knights you control, get +2/+1 until end of turn. Oh, each turn.
Yeah.
Each turn.
Yeah. It just seems like a very, very, you know, strong card. I definitely think at the price point of, what is it, $8?
Yeah, $8.50 right now, market value pre-order.
I think that this price is a fair price.
Yeah.
For the power level of the card.
I think it'll kind of stick around there, especially if it hits. It might even go up a couple
No,
bucks.
if it makes its way into a deck, it will spike.
Yeah.
And if you're holding copies of it, I would say sell them and buy them later. But if it ends up doing, you know, like what, you know, a Walking Ballista does, and it just goes like multi-format every deck, which it won't because it's white.
Yeah.
But I think, you know, in that case, you know, you might be sitting on a really good card here.
Yeah. Next up in alphabetical order is Jaya Ballard. Right now it is a $6.60 pre-order, which kind of blows my mind. I don't think this card is good. That's pretty much all I have to say.
Yeah, you know, it comes out on the board for 5. It has very little impact from there. It's like, yeah, it comes out on the board for 5. You can add 3 and then spend this mana only to cast instants or sorcery spells. So you could play it and then maybe just, you know, like play any 3-cost instant or sorcery, which it just doesn't seem like high impact. And then the other +1, which is discard up to 3 cards, then draw that many cards. It's just...
I don't think it's going to see standard. It's 100% not going to see modern. There's like a possibility. If you want to jam it in your commander deck because you really like Jaya and the lore, go ahead. I think that the price is completely riding nostalgia and lore right now.
Yeah.
I think that the price is going to go down to around $4 or $5. So I wouldn't pick them up at 6 or more. I would wait.
I think it'll go even lower.
Right. If you want a single copy for a commander deck, wait until it gets down to like $3 or $4, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, you know, it brings me back to something like Sarkhan Dragon Speaker from Khans of Tarkir. It was a card that, you know, people were pre-ordering at like $30, and then now years later, you know, it's like a $2 card in the foil you could pick up for $5.
Right. Next up, number 5, third of the way through this, is Jorah Weatherlight Captain. She is currently sitting at $4.89 pre-order. I think that this card maybe sees standard, not very likely. I think that you'll see some brawl decks with her at the helm.
Yeah.
And I'm actually fairly interested in brewing, maybe not executing, but seeing how it looks on paper. a deck of her as the commander.
You know, my gut would tell me this card is going to go down.
Yeah. I think it is too. I don't think it's going to hit a lot of play. I think it's nostalgia value like Jaya. At number 6, Carne Scion of Urza. Holy crap, guys. This is a spicy meatball. $30 pre-order market value. I think that if you build around it, which you have to pretty much to get full value out of him, I think he's going to see standard play. I think you're going to see some people try and brew a modern deck around him.
Oh, he'll make it into a modern deck.
He won't see Brawl because there's not like a great amount, if any, of only colorless lands. But at $30, what do you think's going to happen to the price of this card?
I think it's going to stay the same.
$30 on the nose.
I really do think it's going to like stay the same, or it's going to go down to 25. It may go as low as 20, and then someone's going to find a deck and bust it out. It could make its way into, Tron.
Yeah.
It could make its way into Tron just because it's a good card engine, and Tron doesn't have a good card engine. It fits into Tron because it's, a nice, it's colorless.
Plus it's Karn. Karn, man. Nostalgia value. People are going to want this card. And it can go into any color deck.
That has a lot to do with it. People that are interested in it are going to find something to do with it.
Right.
If it's a card that's boring, it just kind of falls to the wayside. But cards like this that are important cards to the history of Magic, and people tinker with them and they figure it out. I think if it busts out, if it goes multi-format, which it can, it's colorless, it's cheap for a Planeswalker spell. Obviously, it doesn't protect itself, but this card is very, very good.
Right.
And I don't know, dude. I think it's going to get there. And I think the price is fair right now.
Yeah, this will be one of the value mythics you can pull for sure.
For sure.
And a foil of it,
it's going to be
struck gold.
It's going to be sexy.
Oh, yeah.
And you bring up the foils, and that's important to bring up, is Dominaria isn't going to have masterpieces.
Right.
So once people open the cards that they want out of this set, they're not going to just keep chasing masterpieces like other sets.
Right.
So the set, comparatively, although there's a lot of hype around it, won't have like as big of an opening as like Battle for Zendikar.
For sure.
Number
7, Lyra Dawnbringer, or as I've been calling her, that Baneslayer Angel card. Right now she's sitting at $12.40, which makes sense to me. I think that she's going to see standard play. I think she's a nice, at the very least, sideboard one or two of in like the control decks. You got your blue-white approach deck that's actually been a player. I don't really know if it has room or needs space taken up by a 5/5 first strike, lifelink, whatever. But I could see it, maybe being jammed in there.
One of the big strategies around Approach of the Second Sun is to have good life gain in there to mitigate.
Yeah.
So I think in maybe like an aggro matchup, having this thing come in that can just kind of clean up while you're waiting to get your approach on,
right.
Or in some instances close out the game itself. Yeah, I think the card's good.
Maybe Commander, maybe definitely not Modern. Maybe Brawl. It's not a very inspired deck for a mono white Brawl. Yeah. I don't think it would be super competitive, but
it'd be hanging out in a one that does have white in it.
Yeah, absolutely. Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah, it would be included for sure.
I think the card is really good. Let's talk about the price point.
Yeah, $12.40. What do you think? Up or down?
I think if it finds its way, and this is always conditional, if it finds its way into a standard deck that is consistently winning, this card being at Mythic Rarity will definitely go up. Yeah. If it just kind of is like a fringy sideboard card, it's going to do what the other Angels did in these last previous sets, our Angels of Invention, our Exquisite Archangels, these things. And it's just going to find a price point of like $2 or $3 and just kind of hang out.
Yeah, I could see it settling down at like 7, 6. Next up, one of the most confusing cards to analyze and try and see the future of, Mox Amber. Currently sitting at $26 pre-order market price. I think that this card might see standard. I think that it might see modern. It's such a difficult card to call because at the end of the day, it is free mana, and that is nothing to shake a stick at. Right. And if you got access to free mana, somebody is probably gonna figure out how to make it work.
Yeah, the Mox, whenever a Mox comes out, people get to crafting. Yeah. And one of the cards that people are, really, theorizing around is the Hound, the 2/2 legendary Hound for 1 white.
Yeah.
I don't know why I can't remember the name of it. I'm just a scrub.
Hound of Kunda.
Yeah, that's it. And I think, if it finds its way into a modern deck, this card is going to explode in price. $26 is going to be a steal.
Right.
I definitely agree with you as far as standard. Standard, this card, people are going to be brewing around legendaries. They're going to be a thing. And, when you think of affinity, it's very easy to turn on Mox Opal.
Right.
I think this card is a little bit more difficult to turn on, so only time will tell.
Yeah, it's one that we're not really comfortable saying if it's going to go up or go down. It's honestly, if you get one, I would just hang on to it for now.
Yeah, just hang on
to it. It's a safe one to take a flyer on, especially because it is going to be so expensive because it has the word Mox in it.
Right.
Just hang on to them. Number 9, Muldrotha the Gravetide. Now, when I saw this card first, I was like, I want to build this as my commander.
Joel goes, dibs my commander.
It's just so spicy looking. Now, time will tell if it's actually good, if it's, a good return for its converted mana cost. It seems good because it can return lands, which is pretty nutso. So currently sitting at $7.40 market value. Obviously, the way I was talking. Price. Yeah, I think it's a fair price. I think definitely commander. I think this is going to become a staple commander for Bug.
Yeah, dude.
For blue, black, green, it's going to be standard
people love
commander.
Filling up their graveyard.
A standard EDH commander.
It's just going to be one of these
highlights of the color. It's going to be maybe the best one in the colors.
Yeah, dude. People love filling up their graveyard and then getting back big creatures that they have no business playing and doing it at like a degenerately early rate. Mm-hmm. And this card is perfect for that kind of abuse. And so for that reason, I confidently the foil is going to be expensive.
Absolutely. I think the best comp for this card is Keranos. Keranos is a card that's like $4 or $5 regular, but the foil is like $50 or something ridiculous.
For sure.
And I think you're gonna see a comparable price differentiation with Muldrotha. Regular copy, it's going to be fine. People are going to want it because not everybody wants all of the, most spicy cards for their commander.
A lot of people hate how foil prices are affected and how they fluctuate, and some people want the card.
It. That's what they want. So they're going to be willing to pay that $40 or $50. Look, Keranos isn't even that great of a foil, but one of my favorite EDH decks is my Keranos deck. So I bought the foil when I saw it on eBay for like $35. I just snap bought it. And I was like, yep, that's the best price I'm going to see. And maybe ever. So I'll take it.
Just do it.
I think Muldrotha is going to be very similar.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Are you ready for the sleeper?
Number 10.
You ready for the card that is just so cheap right now that is... Dude, I would be so...
Yavimai's Avatar.
I'll be so surprised if this card doesn't have an impact in Standard. I don't think it will be very impactful in Modern. But as far as Standard and as far as a price point of, what is it, $3?
It's the cheapest one on the list right now. Look, when I was prepping this episode, it blew me away that this was cheaper than Jaya Ballard, whatever.
Yeah.
It's the cheapest one of the 15 right now. I expected it, honestly, and you can call me stupid in the comments, but I expected it to be like top 4 in price, top 5 of the 15. I think this card is going to see Standard play. I think this card is like an auto jam into any EDH deck with green that you need a spicy green beater in.
Yeah, dude. I love that you can, from a Standard perspective, I love that you can, play all of your deserts and then return them later.
In a Standard with
and then
deserts,
cycle them away.
Yes, in
late
a Standard with cycling lands, man.
And then there's so much ramp.
Yes.
As well.
Right.
And having ways to just like ramp, you have Hour of Devastation. I could see like a green-red ramp deck that just wipes the board and then plays this guy. And if you have to kill it, fine, get it back from your yard. I just think there's so much potency here, and the market price just doesn't really reflect it.
There's an interesting build. I want to brew up a very weirdo deck with Multani, Naga Vitalist,
and
then like deserts.
Yeah.
and see what we can come up
Like,
with.
I want to put it in a deck with, like,
Tomb of Pharaohs.
4 Sweltering Suns, 3 Hour of Devastation, just have a bunch of board wipe, and then this guy.
Yes.
And
see what we can come
Hour
up
of
with.
Promise, just ramp into it.
Very, very interesting card. Number 11, Naru Mae, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, Master Wizard.
Yes.
Currently sitting at $360 on the market pre-order. I don't think we're going to see it in Standard. I don't think we're going to see it in Modern. I think that it's going to definitely be a Commander card.
Yeah.
Especially since we just had the Wizards Precon Commander deck released. I think this is kind of playing to those people who bought that and, want some more Wizards to jam into their deck.
For a control deck, it is kind of slow.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because control likes slow cards.
Yeah, but why not make it? Why make it a 3/3 for 4 with flash and its ability? Why not make it like blue for a 1/1 with flash, and it's a 2 blue but that has the copy ability
or
built
just
into
it. Yeah, give it the whole 2/1. Give it the whole 2/1 wizard treatment.
Yeah, I think they wanted to do too much with it to also make it a wizard lord.
Yeah.
With the whole wizards +1/+1 thing, I think that upped the mana cost, added a spicy ability, but upped the mana cost out of the playable range. But we'll see. They're definitely going for a wizard's tribal thing. You got lightning bolt, you got counterspell, the wizard versions.
Yeah.
So possibly.
No, and also legendary doesn't help this card's case either.
Exactly. You
if Snapcaster Mage were legendary, it would be a lot less potent. It would just be like
run 2, maybe 3.
Yeah.
With Naru Mae, do you think the price is going to go up or down from $360? I think it's a fine price. I don't think it's going to go down too much because it's got relevant creature type. It's a lord.
For sure.
So I think $3, $4, that's a fair. I don't think it's going to go any lower than that.
I think it's fair. I think that, again, I think the foil may have a little bit of an inflated value, but it might actually just... I think this card is very likely to stay the same and could go down.
Number 12, Phyrexian Scriptures, currently sitting at $4.82 pre-order market value. Look, this card is maybe my favorite card from Dominaria. I really love it. It's like everything that I love about Magic kind of wrapped up into one thing.
Yeah.
Its abilities are sick. I'm definitely putting it into my commander decks. I think that there's a black deck running around in Standard possibly right now that this slots into perfectly. What do you think?
Bro, I love this card.
The art?
I think the card is great.
Yeah.
I would love to see a black-white solemnity combo deck filled with artifact creatures.
Yeah.
And the whole idea is to just play this, wait until it gets into the second phase, and then play Solemnity so no more counters can be placed on it. And then each turn you're just destroying all non-artifact creatures.
Right.
And it just doesn't go away. It's just like now you just have artifact dudes on the board. You are absolutely locked in, and your opponent just is consistently getting locked out by destroy all non-artifact creatures.
It's an interesting card. I think that the price is going to go up. Again, I think that there's going to be a big differential between the regular and the foil because it's got the word Phyrexian on it. That's a huge nostalgia thing for lots of people. And so I just love this one. This is my favorite of the Mythics.
It's very good.
It's the Mythic I definitely want to be pulling. It's going to go into a lot of commander decks for me. Number 13, Tephra, Hero of Dominaria. Now, this card is currently sitting at $12.50 for the pre-order. I think this card is great. I think it is definitely going to see Standard play. I think, it's an auto slot into your blue-white approach decks that already exist, and that's discounting completely all of the other blue-white decks or anything that pops up between now and then. Having it immediately come in, draw a card.
It comes in with an oust as well, which is really important too.
And you can untap the 2 lands. It's just, this card is so good and I love it.
Yeah, I think it's one of the few cards where it's like normally I wouldn't be like, all right, the card's like $12. I'd be like, hold off.
Right.
But I think it will definitely make its way into a control deck.
Yep. And I think it's going to see standard control play. I think it's going to go into commander decks. I think people are going to seek it out for their brawl decks, either as commander or to go in it. I just
as
think
far
this
as
is
modern
going to be a highly
goes,
sought card.
Like the modern test always comes down to, because Elspeth is the 5-cost walker, right. So it always comes down to like, is this better than Elspeth? Mm-hmm. And I don't think it is.
Yeah, I think it's close, and I think it could be. It does get your card. You got the oust, and by the time, if you can set off its ultimate, you got to exile. It's insane.
It's insane. So the ultimate is insane.
So yeah, I think this card is really good, and I don't think it's ever going to get lower than $12.
Yeah, it could play really well around Oath of Tephra, which is a card that a lot of people are. It's expensive, Oath of Tephra, but the fact that you can activate loyalty counters of Planeswalkers twice is strong.
Yeah. Number 14, Varric's Blade Wing, our mono red dragon mythic that is going to be the total womp womp.
You know, Joel and I disagree on this card.
This card right now is $3.73. I think that this card might slot into a commander deck, but honestly, there's so many better options. Why would you? Unless you're like, I want dragons for my deck. My deck would be built around dragons and only dragons. And then put it in there.
Yeah. Okay, so
that's my opinion.
We don't even need to bring it up.
Different opinion.
We don't even need to bring it up, but as far as a dude that brings a dude, this card is an absolute house in limited.
For sure.
But we're not talking about limited, we're talking about constructed.
Yeah.
I actually really like it.
Yeah.
Because in a control matchup, it becomes a late game board presence.
For sure.
So being able to bring 2 4/4s in, 4/4 flyers for 7.
For 7 mana in your red deck.
Yeah. But a lot of these control matchups, it's like you're waiting for some way to reestablish your board presence after a wipe.
Right.
And what better way to do it than, this big, huge dude. Now, obviously, Siege Gang Commander is really good.
For sure.
But I do think this card will surpass the threshold of $3.
You think so?
I actually do.
You heard it here first, ladies and gents.
But if it becomes one of those things where they're like, let's do a game day promo of it, and they give it like the Thunderbreak Regent treatment the whatever the other recent dragon was, Glorybringer, it's just going to end up being one of those like, oh yeah, you got that dollar mythic, great.
Yeah. And finally, number 15, the Weatherlight as a vehicle at Mythic, currently $5.40 on what I have to imagine is complete nostalgia factor. I think that it might come in standard if somebody can brew up a good legendary deck. I think that maybe commander, but even less likely. I think the most likely thing with this card is that you get the foil and you put it in a hard sleeve behind your commander, and every time you play your commander, you're like, look, everybody, whoosh,
yeah,
the Weatherlight flew my commander on the battlefield.
Because the card that I compare it to is Heart of Kiran.
Yeah,
and
strictly better.
Just absolutely strictly better. Now, granted, this card tutors things up, which is cute.
Right.
But Heart of Kiran just
kind of cute.
It's kind of cute.
Yeah.
But Heart of Kiran it gets in there. You play it for 2. You crew it for 3. It's a 4/4 Vigi. You can crew it when you need a blocker. Like, this card is just like, it's bulk mythic.
Yeah, absolutely. Each symbol on the left of the saga's text box represents a chapter ability. A chapter ability is a triggered ability that triggers when a lore counter is put on the saga. Causes the number of lore counters on the saga to become equal to or greater than the ability's chapter number. Chapter abilities are put on the stack and may be responded to. So the ability only triggers when a counter is put on it. So real quick before we let you go, we just looked up the ruling of solemnity.
Dude,
we know we were wrong. The ability doesn't trigger if you don't put a counter on it. Solemnity keeps you from putting a counter on it. It just doesn't rotate the ability over and over and over. It's not just constantly wiping the board. We just wanted to clear that up. It seemed a little weird, so we were like, we better check now that we filmed the entire episode.
Right.
To make sure that we were right about that. But we weren't. We know that. Let us have it in the comments, everybody. Come on, yell at us.
Or be the person who lets us have it because you didn't wait to the whole video, and then someone responds to you and goes, you know, they explained that they were wrong about solemnity, right? And then they're like, nuh-uh. They were saying it worked.
Yeah. Just wanted to clear that up.
So, super duper fast before we go. If you are waiting to buy Masters 25 singles, including foils and regular cards, now's the time to do it.
Do it. Go buy them.
Everybody is interested in Dominaria right now, so people are undercutting the market. Masters 25 has about reached its threshold of people wanting to open it.
Yep.
So now is the time to buy these cards. There are so many great cards that you can buy for cheap, cheap, cheap. Just go to eBay. Find them there.
Check it out.
Lowest price plus shipping.
Guys, thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed our little Mythics video. If you think that any of these cards are going to behave differently than we said, make sure to let us know in the comments below. We want to talk to you about them because we want to make sure that we get these at the best deals we possibly can.
Yes, and if you enjoy the channel,
yep,
please consider subscribing. It is the best way to support us as we continue to bring you content.
We hate repeating it, but I think need to.
I think we just have to repeat it now.
Yeah. So there you go. Make sure to check out Jake's Twitch stream. Follow us on Twitter so you know when he's going live. The link to his channel on Twitch is in the description box below. If you go over there, hit follow on him, it will send you a nice little notification that lets you know when he's playing MTG Arena. Other than that,
I think I'm tapped out, dude.
I am tapped out. Peace.